Welcome to the Build Your Brave Career podcast, where we flip the script on the tired stereotype that women in and around the tech industry have to be stressed out, overworked, and underpaid. I'm Nicole Trick-Steinbach, the International Bravery Coach and your host. Forget what you've been taught. Bravery is not a personality trait available only to the brash. Bravery is a skill, and you already have it. Which is great, because building the skill of bravery is the most powerful way to creating the career and life you really want. As you build your brave, you will stress less, work less, and then earn more. This podcast will help you do just that. Let's dive in. So you're in a safe job, but that safe job is boring. What do you do? This is the exact question I received from one of you listeners. And thank you for submitting it. I'm going to guess that you're listening to a podcast called Build Your Brave Career, and boring is not the vibe you're going for. I'm going to guess that you enjoy a challenge, that you probably work too much, you probably stress too much, and you're listening to get some insights. So here we go. If you are currently in this time of mass layoffs, in a safe job, but you're also bored, here are some of my answers. First of all, are you really safe? I have had some conversations recently with people who were like, but I thought I was safe. I'm a high performer and I still got laid off. So are you really in a safe environment? I would just take a minute and really reflect on some of the symptoms you've seen in the market, you've seen in your customer base, and you see in your current employer. That's my first suggestion. I'm not saying this to freak you out. I'm saying this because it's really important to reevaluate our situations every once in a while. My second suggestion is, what do you mean by bored? Do you mean you have free time? Do you mean you're not being contacted after work hours? Do you mean that there's no promotion coming? Do you mean that you've worked with the same people and the same clients in the same way for a really long time? What do you mean by bored? And here's why I really want you to sit with this question. Many, probably all of my clients who come to me and work with me one-on-one to build the skill of bravery so that they first stress less to then work less and then eventually earn more, they freak out a tiny little bit or a whole lot when their stress level actually goes down. Most of my clients have been at such a high level of stress that when it starts to go down and it starts to get almost into that normal range, that neutral range, they start to freak out and they start to search for cortisol. They say they're so bored. I believe them. They do feel bored. And that can be a positive symptom of rest, of stressing less, of working less, of having more positive self-belief, more confidence, more positive relationships at work and outside of work. Being bored perhaps is a symptom of lowering your overall stress. If this is an area where you're like, I don't know if that's true for me, I highly suggest you start working with a trusted person. That may be a mentor. That may be a coach like me. That may be a therapist. That's going to really depend on how this is showing up for you. So let's say your situation really is safe. Let's say you really are bored and it's not about your stress level. You truly are like, oh my gosh, I do not have enough work, or I've been doing this work for forever. The third thing, and really only do this, listen to me, please, only do this if those first two are truly true, okay? Do not do this if you're actually searching for the rush of stress, okay? But if you truly are bored and it's not about your stress level going down, there are so many beautiful ways you can skill build and experience search outside of your job. And I'm going to start there for a very concrete, brave reason. Most people listening to this identify very strongly with career success. That's great. I don't have a problem with that. I do the same thing. In fact, when things are going a little rocky, I am definitely leaning on my sponsors, my mentors, my therapists, my coaches, my support system. Okay. So, like, no shame in the game on that one. All right. But if that's the case for you, like it is for me, I want you to look outside. So, for example, I already mentioned some of my clients, they start a new sport. One of my clients started hockey again. Another one got back into rock climbing. Another one started running again. The other one began very complex sewing, quilting, amazingness that brought in that stress, that focus, and that skill building experience. I want you to look there first. And you can also do this at your company. You could, for example, offer to do a lunch and learn for your functional area and share some of your expertise. You could get engaged with your employee network group. You could search out a fellowship. You could step into a project in an area you've never worked in. You could start mentoring others. There are so many ways that if you are in a safe environment, you really aren't going to get laid off. You can find ways to be more engaged. If you have a follow-up question, or you have some insight into this, or maybe you have a career story you want to share with your fellow women in tech here as a guest on this podcast, send me an email, Nicole. Thanks again for submitting this, and let's keep this conversation going. Till next week, brave it up. If the Build Your Brave Career podcast is helping you flip the script in your own career, if it's helping you reduce your stress, work smarter, or create more income, please share this with a friend. Till next time, you are already brave. Now go build your brave.